A dimly lit alleyway, in walks alone, her footsteps echoing in the stillness. She's just left a meeting with her father and the board members, a bitter reminder of how suffocating her life has become. As she walks, her phone buzzes again, another message from Jungkook. She ignores it, stuffing the phone back into her bag. Suddenly, the hairs on the back of her neck rise. She feels someone watching her. She quickens her pace, but footsteps follow her. She glances over her shoulder. A figure emerges from the shadows. A man steps forward, one of her father's old business associates, a man who had always looked at her like she was a piece of property. Man, grinning, well, what do we have here? In, all alone. In's heart skips a beat. She's been in dangerous situations before, but this feels different. Her instincts scream at her to run. She turns and starts walking faster, but the man follows. Man, don't run, sweetheart. You know, your father always said you were his most prized asset. Maybe it'll remind him of that. In a way he'll never forget. In's pulse races as he catches up to her, grabbing her arm roughly. She yelps and tries to break free, but he pulls her close. In desperately let go of Meg, her heart races. She feels trapped, her thoughts a blur. She knows she's in trouble, but she also knows there's no way out on her own. She pulls out her phone, her fingers trembling, but before she can dial, the man slaps it out of her hand. The phone skitters across the pavement. Man mockingly, trying to call for help. You think anyone's going to hear you in this alley? The man leans in closer, his breath hot on her neck. In panic, her mind racing for a solution. Suddenly, her phone vibrates again, but this time it's a call. The screen shows Jungkook's name. She knows it's now or never. She answers it, her voice shaking. In frantic, Jungkook, please help. The man slaps the phone from her hand, but hears Jungkook's voice on the other end, his tone immediate and sharp. Jungkook, through the phone, alarmed. In, what's happenings? Where are you? In struggles against the man's grip, her voice frantic. In, please, Hesh is going to hurt me, please. Jungkook, help man. The man laughs, pulling in by her wrist into the alley deeper. Man, she's begging for help now. Hoer, you're not going anywhere, sweetheart. Jungkook's voice through the phone is cold and furious. Jungkook, gritting his teeth. In, on my way in. Stay calm. Don't do anything stupid. In tries to free herself, but the man tightens his grip. The situation is slipping out of control. In weakly. Jungkook, hurry. The phone cuts off, and the man yanks in further into the alley. Just as things begin to escalate, the sound of a car screeches to a halt nearby. In sees a shadow approaching from the end of the alley. Jungkook's voice rings out. Jungkook, shouting, cold. Let her go now. The man freezes, his grip loosening. He turns to face Jungkook, who stands there, his eyes burning with fury. Man, sneering, Jungkook, you're too late. She's mine now. Jungkook steps forward, his tone deadly. He moves with the precision of someone who's dealt with far worse. His eyes are locked on the man, but his voice is foreign. Jungkook, get away from her. Now the man hesitates, sensing the power in Jungkook's voice. He turns, considering running, but before he can act, Jungkook is on him. In an instant, the man's on the ground, and Jungkook stands over him, breathing heavily. In stands frozen, her body trembling. Jungkook glances at her briefly, his expression softening for a fraction of a second. But the urgency of the situation remains. Jungkook, approaching In, softly. You're safe now. It's over. In can barely process the moment. She's too shaken, too numb. She stumbles back, and Jungkook reaches out to steady her. For a moment their eyes meet, and everything between them is raw and vulnerable. In whispering, you came for me, Jungkook, gripping her arms gently. I told you I would, and I will. Always. He pulls her into his arms, holding her tightly. In's body stiffens at first, but eventually she lets herself collapse into his chest, her breath shallow as she tries to calm herself. The man groans from the ground, But Jungkook doesn't spare him another glance. Has already focused entirely on In. The Ollie is quiet now. The man who had threatened In is lying unconscious at Jungkook's feet. In stands in front of him, her back stiff and body shaking, still in shock from the close call. Jungkook watches her closely, but his expression is unreadable. Jungkook softly but urgently, "In, are you okay? Talk to me." In doesn't respond immediately. Her eyes are focused on the ground, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she tries to regain control over her emotions. She's been in danger before, but something about tonight, something about seeing Jungkook step in like that feels different. In whispering, voice barely audible, "You came for me." Jungkook's expression softens, but there's a heaviness in his eyes. He moves a little closer, his tone gentle but firm. "Jungkook, I told you I would. I meant it." In takes a step back, her heart pounding. Her hands tremble as she wipes away the tears she didn't even realize had fallen. She's shaken, but not just by the danger, by the conflicting feelings inside her. Her fear, her longing, her anger, they're all mixed into a confusing whirlwind. In staring at him, voice shaking. "Why now? Why after everything you've done? Why are you here?" Jungkook stops in his tracks, pain flickering across his face. He opens his mouth to speak but then closes it, unsure of how to answer. Finally, he steps forward slowly, his voice raw with emotion. "Jungkook, because I'm not the man I used to be. In. I've spent too long blaming you and I was wrong, so wrong." In looks at him with disbelief, her chest tightening as her emotions rise again. "In, you think saying that changes everything? You think after everything you put me through just a few words can fix it?" Her voice cracks and for a moment it's as if the walls she's built around herself are starting to crumble. She takes a deep breath, trying to hold back the flood of emotions that threaten to overtake her. In her voice breaking, "Do you think I can just forget all the times you hurt me? Do you think I can forget how you looked at me like I was nothing?" Jungkook takes another step toward her, his eyes filled with regret. He doesn't try to touch her, but his gaze is filled with the silent plea for understanding. Jungkook gently but with an edge of desperation, "I never wanted to hurt you. I thought it was the only way to protect what I had left after I lost my sister. I thought I could fix things with rage, with control." In stares at him, still too hurt to let her guard down completely. But something shifts in her gaze. She can see the truth in his eyes, the sincerity, the shame. It cuts through the anger she's holding on to. In softly, voice shaking, "And now, what are you going to do, Jungkook? How do I even know I can trust you again? After everything, how do I know you won't hurt me again?" Jungkook takes a deep breath, his voice steadier now, but his words are filled with the weight of years of regret. "Jungkook, you don't. I can't make you trust me. But I'm asking you to let me prove it. Let me show you that I'm not that man anymore. I'm not perfect, but I'll spend every day making it right. If you'll let me." In shakes her head, her breath quickening. She wants to believe him, part of her does. But the scars he left, the ones that still sting, they're hard to ignore. In looking down, her voice barely above a whisper, "How do you expect me to let you in? How do you expect me to trust someone who shattered me?" The silence stretches between them. Jungkook closes his eyes for a moment, then steps closer, his presence overwhelming. He stops just a few inches from her, but he doesn't touch her. "Hey, does it dare?" Jungkook quietly, almost pleading. "I don't expect you to just forgive me. In. I don't expect you to trust me overnight. But please give me the chance to show you who I am now, who I want to be, for you." In feels the weight of his words, her heart pounding in her chest. She wants to say something, to push him away, to keep herself safe. But she's not sure she has the strength. Jungkook reaches for her hand and this time she doesn't pull away. His touch is hesitant, gentle. In quietly, as tears fill her eyes, "I don't know how to trust you anymore. I don't know if I can." Jungkook lifts her hand to his chest, holding it there gently. He presses his forehead against hers for a moment, as if hoping the connection between them can convey everything words cannot. Jungkook, whispering, I'll show you. I'll spend my life proving it to you. For the first time in a long while, In feels something other than fear. She's not sure what it is, but it's there, a flicker of something she thought was long gone. Jungkook's private office. The room is dimly lit, with only the soft glow of a desk lamp illuminating the space. Jungkook sits in a chair, his hands gripping the edge of the table in front of him. He looks lost in thought, his expression heavy with guilt and regret. A memory flickers in his mind. It's like has been transported back in time to a night that changed everything. The sound of a door slamming open breaks the silence. Flashback to a year ago, Jungkook's sister's funeral. The scene is dark and somber. The air is thick with grief. Jungkook stands beside his sister's grave, his hands shaking as he holds that urn containing her ashes. His face is pale, his eyes hollow with sorrow. The wind howls through the empty cemetery, the only sound breaking the silence. Jungkook whispering, voice breaking, why did you have to leave me? I couldn't save you." He lowers the urn into the grave, his throat tight with emotion. He's surrounded by the hushed murmurs of family and friends, but none of it matters to him. Nothing matters. His sister, his only family, is gone. The one person who understood him is now lost. Flashback shifts. The scene changes to Jungkook's office. It's after the funeral. Jungkook stands by the window, staring out at the dark sky, his thoughts consumed with pain and anger. His body is tense, his jaw clenched tight. The sound of footsteps behind him draws his attention. It's his trusted associate, Taehyung, who steps in quietly. Taehyung, carefully, "Jungkook, you need to take care of yourself. You can't keep punishing yourself like this." Jungkook, coldly, "Don't you dare tell me how to grieve, Taehyung. My sister is dead because of me. I couldn't protect her. She trusted me and I failed." Taehyung sighs, stepping closer. He places a hand on Jungkook's shoulder, a quiet gesture of support. Taehyung, softly, "You're not the only one responsible for her death, Jungkook. You have to stop blaming yourself." Jungkook's eyes flash with a mix of frustration and pain as he turns to face Taehyung. Jungkook harshly, "Then was responsible, who? It's my fault. I couldn't save her. I should have seen it. I should have done something. She was everything to me." Taehyung watches his friends break down in silence, understanding the depth of Jungkook's grief. But then, a hard decision forms in Jungkook's mind. His anger takes over, pushing the grief aside. Jungkook, cold, calculating, "If I can't protect the ones I love, then I'll make sure nobody can get close to me again. I'll build something stronger. I'll make them all fear me, and I'll make the people who hurt me pay." Taehyung looks at Jungkook, his face shadowed with concern. Taehyung, warning, "You're not thinking clearly. You can't let your pain turn into hatred. It's dangerous, Jungkook." Jungkook, bitterly, "Hatred is the only thing I have left, and I'll use it to protect what's mine." The memory fades and Jungkook's thoughts return to the present. He's back in his office, staring at his reflection in the glass window. His face is hardened, but there's a shift in his eyes. Now, the anger has dulled, replaced by a profound sense of loss and guilt. He remembers how, in his blind rage, he hurt the people closest to him, including In. The memories of his cruelty hit him like a punch to the gut. He reaches up, running his fingers through his hair, his mind racing. Has spent so long building walls around himself, convinced that power and fear were the only way to cope with his loss. But now, within, he sees that he was wrong. Jungkook, softly to himself, "I wasn't protecting her, I was destroying her." He turns from the window, a new resolve settling in his chest. Jungkook knows now that he can't fix the past, but he can start to make amends. Has not sure if In will ever forgive him, but is willing to spend the rest of his life proving that has changed. Jungkook's penthouse. The large windows look out over the city, the night sky illuminated by distant lights. In stands near the balcony, her back to Jungkook. Her posture is tense, but there is a softness in her eyes that wasn't there before. Jungkook approaches slowly, his steps careful, as if afraid of breaking the fragile moment between them. Jungkook, softly, approaching from behind. And I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to know how sorry I am. For everything. In stays silent, staring out at the view, her shoulders slightly shaking as she holds back the torrent of emotions inside her. She feels his presence behind her like a heavy weight she can't escape. But there's no fear now. Only a quiet agony. In a whispering, I don't know if I can forgive you. I'm not even sure what I feel anymore. Jungkook's heart clenches at her words. He moves closer, but not too close. He respects the distance she needs. He doesn't want to rush her, but the longing in his chest makes it hard to hold back. Jungkook, gently, voice strained. I've never been good at this, at feeling, but am trying for you, for us. In finally turns to face him, her eyes filled with a mix of hurt, confusion, and something else, something deeper, that she's been fighting to acknowledge. Jungkook sees it and feels the weight of every moment they've been through together, every painful memory. In quietly, you hurt me, Jungkook. You broke me, and I can't just erase that. Jungkook flinches at the truth in her words, but he doesn't look away. His gaze is steady, sincere. Tae knows the road to redemption won't be easy, but is willing to walk it. Jungkook, softly pleading, I know, and am not asking you to forget it. In asking you to trust me again. Please, let me make it right. For a long moment it looks at him, her emotions battling inside her. She wants to hate him, wants to push him away, but there's a part of her that still cares, still wants to believe in him. She takes a slow step forward, closing the distance between them. In barely above a whisper, can you promise me that you'll never hurt me again? Jungkook's breath catches in his throat. He reaches for her hand, his touch gentle but firm, as if making a vow without words. Jungkook, earnestly with a deep sincerity, I swear it. I'll spend every day proving to you that I'm not the man I was. I'll show you every day that I love you. In's chest tightens as her heart begins to open, the walls around her slowly crumbling. Her hand trembles as it rests in his, the warmth of his touch offering a sense of safety that she hasn't felt in so long. In whispering, I'm scared, Jungkook. I'm scared to let you in again. Jungkook steps even closer, his forehead brushing gently against hers. The intimacy of the moment, the closeness they've shared, creates a spark of vulnerability that neither of them can ignore. Jungkook, softly, it'll never hurt you again, In. I swear. If you let me, it'll show you that you can trust me with your heart. In's breath hitches as she feels the sincerity in his voice, the warmth of his presence. For the first time in a long while, she allows herself to let go of the fear, to allow the possibility of love that's complicated and imperfect but real. Her hands reach up, cupping his face gently. The movement is slow, tentative, but there's a softness in her touch, a sense of trust slowly being rebuilt. In whispering with a fragile hope, I want to believe you, Jungkook. I do. Jungkook looks at her, his gaze intense but filled with something more tender than anything she's seen before. His lips are just inches from hers now, his breath mingling with hers. He doesn't lean in just yet. Instead, he waits for her, respects her space, allowing her to make the decision. In hesitates for a moment, her heart racing. Then, with a small, almost imperceptible nod, she closes the distance between them. The kiss is slow, soft, and filled with unspoken emotions. It's not just a kiss. It's a promise, a moment of healing, of rebuilding what was broken. As they pull away slightly, their foreheads resting against each other, the silence between them is comfortable now, filled with understanding, with the unspoken promise of a future together, built on trust and the remnants of a love that never truly faded.